over the summer, we've seen JK Rowling in the firing line for apparently making some transphobic comments, saying that there are only two genders. And now her new book is under scrutiny for also being transphobic. It's a really interesting and strange story. What do you think?
Absolutely. So she's obviously been at the centre of accusations of transphobia because of her new book, and it's called Troubled Blood, because it features a male killer who dresses up as a woman. So let's be clear on that for a start. This is not a transgender person. This is a transvestite. And a journalist called Benjamin Butterworth. I'm referring to a particular Good Morning Britain clip, which was aired about 2 weeks ago now, I think, where they were discussing this issue. And he was arguing that, and I've got the direct quote here, that this book smears transgenders, and that it's offensive to transgenders and is transphobic. And firstly, the first point is, he was referring specifically to transgenders there, but this book is about this is a transvestite character. So already he's getting those two terms mixed up, which in itself could cause offence. So, you know, he's already kicked himself in the foot there. And my overarching opinion on this, you know, I haven't read the book myself, but from what I've read about the description of it and from seeing that interview, you know, this sounds like a step in the right direction, this book, because it should please the trans community, surely, because it's being more, when you have an author who writes a book and includes a character who's a transvestite, it's more inclusive and it's more representative of the society that we live in today. And 2020 has been all about equality, isn't it? That's what Black Lives Matter was supposed to be about, but it turns out it's not. But everyone's argument is equality for LGBTQ+, for BAME communities. So surely they should be happy about this. I don't understand. There are more and more. There is a growing community of transgender people and transvestites. So it's very probable that there could be a killer who dresses up as a woman or is a transgender. You know, it's not out of the question, because that's the society we live in today. And if my opinion is, sorry, I just finished. If you are trying to cancel a book that has a transvestite or a transgender killer in it, then surely that is more transphobic, because that is saying that they're against the idea that a killer could be a transgender or a transvestite. So that's actually transphobic in itself if you are cancelling a book purely because it has a character that is part of the trans community. It's complete nonsense, this opinion. And it turns out that the guy accusing her of transphobia hadn't even read the book. So he didn't have a leg to stand on. And it's a serious accusation to fire at a high-profile celebrity author in the UK, who's one of the most popular authors, probably because of Harry Potter. You can't just throw around accusations about transphobia or that they're racist or, you know, what the snowflakes like to do, unless you have a concrete, solid argument. And he has no argument. You can't back yourself up when you haven't actually read the book that you are arguing about. And this is what we're battling with, these people that start an argument for the sake of arguing and don't know what they're arguing about. And that's the cancel culture.
Would the shoe be on the same foot if it was a woman dressing up as a man?
You do have to wonder, don't
you? If a woman with short hair, dressed up in a suit and tie, and went out pretending to be a man to kill these people, would the shoe be on the same foot? I don't think it would. George Galloway, I remember, was on this Good Morning Britain clip, and and he was also interviewed along with Benjamin Otterworth and a trans activist. And George Galloway, I think I remember he stated that in the 1960s, Alfred Hitchcock released a film called Psycho. Now, Psycho is one of the most iconic movies ever. And can we just state Norman Bates dressed up as his mother to kill his victims? And yet people aren't complaining about that.
No.
John Cleese has also been cancelled this week because he publicly signed a letter along with some other celebrities standing in solidarity of JK Rowling. So just because he says, I support JK Rowling, her book is very good, her work is very good, her comments didn't mean to hurt anybody, there was no harm in her comments. Apparently that's all a good reason to cancel somebody in 2020. And we know that people in 2020 will go for anything to cancel. They won't hold back against anything. And every little thing that people say and do, some trolls, some snowflakes are looking for something to start an argument about. And it's getting pathetic.
It is.
It is really getting pathetic.
This is a prime example of it. Prime example of someone not knowing. This is what I feel with Black Lives Matter, that everyone jumped on a bandwagon and thought they knew what they were supporting when they didn't read into it. You have to read into these things. This bloke, Benjamin Butterworth, is a disgrace because he went on that programme having not read this book, and he is accusing someone of transphobia. It's not acceptable. You can't throw these words and accusations around. Absolutely disgraceful.
I could say that Monty Python is a complete disgrace because several of their sketches are of them dressed up as women. Now, of course, I have seen Monty Python, so I can make that judgment. But if I had never seen Monty Python and I made a comment such as that, I have no leg to stand on.
No.